Are we living in a simulated reality? It's a question that has been asked by philosophers, scientists, and everyday people alike. And guess what? Many believe that the answer is yes. Proposed by philosopher Nick Bostrom, the idea suggests that we might be living in a computer-generated simulation. The argument goes like this. If advanced civilizations are capable of creating hyper-realistic simulations, it's statistically more likely that we are living in one rather than in base reality. Stay with us as we dive deep into a mind-bending journey through the theory of simulated reality. You won't believe the real-life events that suggest nothing is as it seems. Before we jump into the intriguing real-life events, let's first understand what the simulation hypothesis is. This sequence shows up everywhere in nature, from the arrangement of leaves on a stem to the spiral pattern of seashells. The fact that this sequence appears with such precision in biological organisms has led some theorists to wonder if it's simply a programmed formula embedded in the fabric of our simulation. Take, for example, the double-slit experiment. In this famous experiment, particles behave like both particles and waves depending on whether they are being observed. While science explains this as a memory processing error or a brain glitch, could it be a sign of the simulation's memory loop? If we're living in a simulated world, déjà vu might be the system's way of recycling data from past experiences. With the rise of artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and neural interfaces, we are on the brink of creating our own simulated worlds. This leads to the chilling question, if we can create these worlds, who's to say that we aren't already living in one? If the constants of nature were just slightly different, life as we know it wouldn't exist. This fine-tuning has led some scientists to suggest that maybe it's not random at all. Perhaps, like in a video game, the universe was designed with a specific set of rules to allow for the existence of life. While the evidence is far from conclusive, the possibility is intriguing. Is it possible that the universe is more like a highly advanced computer simulation than we ever imagined? The results suggest that reality itself is in flux and may be shaped by observation, similar to how a simulation renders reality when needed. Musk has openly stated that he believes it's highly probable we are living in a simulation. According to Musk, as technology advances, future civilizations may create simulations so realistic that the beings inside them wouldn't even know they were simulated. This directly correlates to the idea that we, too, could be the creations of an advanced civilization. The theory was popularized by Bostrom in his 2003 paper, Are You Living in a Computer Simulation? He explains that there are three possibilities. 1. Human civilization goes extinct before reaching technological maturity. 2. Advanced civilizations lose interest in creating realistic simulations. Or 3. We are living in a simulation. It's almost as if the universe is waiting for us to pay attention to certain things before they fully manifest. This idea closely mirrors the concept of a simulation, where a two-dimensional computer code could create the illusion of three-dimensional space. Are we truly making choices? Or is everything predetermined by the programmers? This is a question that many philosophers have debated for centuries. But the simulation hypothesis adds a new layer of complexity to this timeless issue. Some believe that this could be a sign that we're living in a simulation, and these moments represent loading errors or glitches in the system. One of the most famous stories is that of a couple in London who found themselves walking in a street that looked like it was from the 1950s, with cars and buildings from that era. After a while, everything returned to normal. Some have wondered if they briefly experienced a glitch in the Matrix. This phenomenon hints that perhaps reality is not as solid as we think, and could be more malleable than we realize, much like a simulation. But what does this have to do with real-world events? Let's take a closer look. The Mandela Effect is a phenomenon where a large group of people remembers an event or fact in a way that contradicts the evidence. One of the most famous examples is the misremembered death of Nelson Mandela in the 1980s. This leads many to believe they are witnessing an alternate reality, or that the simulation has experienced a glitch. Thousands of people vividly recall hearing about his death while he was still alive. A famous line from Star Wars is often misquoted as Luke, "I am your father," but the actual line is "No, I am your father." This widespread error raises the question, could there be glitches in the simulation, or certain facts are rewritten and we remember them differently? there are many other examples, like the popular children's book series Berenstain Bears, that people recall spelling as Berenstain Bears, but it has always been Berenstain. This has led some to speculate that we may have crossed into a different version of our simulated world. Another glitch-like occurrence comes from the world of movies and TV. Then there's the Fibonacci sequence. It's a series of numbers where each one is the sum of the two preceding ones. Quantum physics adds another layer of intrigue. In quantum physics, the observer effect suggests that the mere act of observation can influence the behavior of a particle. Take, for example, the double-slit experiment. Another curious phenomenon is déjà vu. We've all experienced that eerie feeling of having lived a moment before. There are also countless stories of people who have experienced time slips, a phenomenon where they feel like they've entered another time period, only to return to the present with no recollection of how much time has passed. As our technology continues to advance at an exponential rate, some theorists suggest that it's only a matter of time before we can create simulations indistinguishable from reality. One of the most influential voices supporting the simulation theory is none other than Elon Musk. Looking at the universe itself, we see that it is perfectly fine-tuned for life. The holographic principle proposed by physicists suggests that the entire universe can be seen as a two-dimensional information structure painted on the cosmological horizon, and that the three dimensions we experience are just projections. If we are indeed living in a simulated reality, what does that mean for free will? As we've seen, there are numerous real-world events, scientific principles, and theories that lend credence to the idea that we are living in a simulation. Let's take a moment to consider another strange phenomenon: the concept of holographic memory. Holography, in the simplest sense, refers to the idea of storing data in three dimensions. And what's even stranger is that some people claim to have memories that seem too detailed, too vivid, almost like a hologram. You might think of someone you haven't seen in years, and suddenly you bump into them on the street. Quantum entanglement is the concept where two particles become connected in such a way that the state of one particle directly influences the state of the other. Even if they are separated by vast distances, it's as if the two particles are linked in the simulation, regardless of physical space. This has puzzled scientists for years, but to those who believe in the simulation hypothesis, it could mean that the entire universe is interconnected through a network that transcends traditional physics. Some argue that the purpose of a simulation could be research, education, or entertainment. Perhaps an advanced civilization has created simulations of different worlds throughout history to study how civilizations develop. Alternatively, it might be possible that simulations are created as a form of entertainment. Advanced beings creating virtual worlds as a means of observing life unfold within a controlled environment. Video games today feature incredibly detailed simulations where players can explore entire virtual landscapes, interact with NPCs, and even make choices that influence the course of the game. If our world is a simulation, it may be programmed to loop through countless cycles, with slight changes or glitches occurring each time. Perhaps the concept of infinity itself, whether in mathematics or philosophy, is a clue that our universe is a simulated construct designed to continue indefinitely. These could be subtle clues that reveal we are in a simulation. Where does that leave us? Are we just characters in an advanced video game, living in a simulated universe? Are we living in a simulated reality? Or is everything just a coincidence? A strange set of occurrences with no deeper meaning? We may never know for sure, but one thing is certain: the questions are fascinating, and the answers are beyond our current understanding. Experiencing events that are being manipulated by an unseen hand. The more we look into it, the more the idea begins to make sense. The truth is out there. Maybe we just need to find the right glitch to uncover it. The reality we experience may not be as solid as we think. It could be a creation, a construct, a simulation. Be sure to share it with others who might be questioning the reality they live in. And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay updated on more fascinating theories about the world we live in. People have reported seeing numbers, symbols, or signs that seem too precise or meaningful to be mere coincidence. In some ways, these could be like Easter eggs left in a video game by the developers, messages hidden in plain sight for those who know where to look. These hidden messages might be a deliberate part of the simulation, clues embedded to hint at the true nature of reality. These games are powered by complex algorithms that simulate lifelike behavior in environments. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once, until they are observed. This idea challenges our understanding of reality, as it suggests that things only exist in one state when they are measured. Could this mean that our reality is only fully rendered when we observe it? If so, this is remarkably similar to how a simulation might work. A simulated world would only need to render parts of itself when required, saving processing power by not displaying everything all at once. If we can create these virtual worlds today, imagine the level of sophistication an advanced civilization might be able to achieve in the far future. The ability to simulate an entire universe with life, consciousness, and self-awareness could be within their reach. We do this today with video games, creating entire worlds where we can manipulate the environment and watch the consequences of our decisions play out. In a way, advanced civilizations might be doing the same thing on a much larger scale, using us as characters within a vast simulation. Or perhaps you think of a specific number, and over the course of the day that number keeps appearing in unexpected places. Virtual reality is rapidly becoming more immersive, with technology allowing us to experience simulated environments that are nearly indistinguishable from reality. The closer we get to creating fully immersive virtual worlds, the more plausible the idea seems that an advanced civilization might have already created a simulation that we reliving in. Imagine what kind of simulations could exist in 1,000 years. We may be able to create virtual worlds so convincing that those who live within them will never know they are unreal. Some believe that we are already on the cusp of developing virtual realities that could be indistinguishable from the world we experience today. If we are indeed living in a simulation, what is consciousness, and where does it come from? The complexity of natural processes, from the movements of the stars to the behavior of ecosystems, seems to follow specific patterns, many of which can be described mathematically. Could these patterns be the result of a higher intelligence carefully constructing the laws of our simulation? If we think about the structure of the universe in terms of information processing where, everything can be reduced to data. In algorithms, the patterns we see in nature could be the underlying framework of the simulation, like the code in a video game that generates every event and interaction. Some have suggested that consciousness could be a form of programming within the simulation. In fact, it's possible that our thoughts, our memories, and even our self-awareness are all part of a simulated process. If we think about it, the brain operates in a way that could resemble a computer processing information input, output, data retrieval, and decision-making. Could our consciousness, then, be nothing more than a highly advanced algorithm? If that's the case, does that mean that we're simply following a set of pre-designed rules, living within the parameters of the program set for us? These synchronizations are often dismissed as mere coincidence. But what if they're a result of the simulation reacting to our thoughts or desires, subtly guiding us through a pattern set by the programmers? Descartes argued that if such a being existed, we would have no way of distinguishing between real and false experiences. In a simulated world, perhaps we are the subjects of such deception, experiencing reality through a filter that hides the truth. The simulation hypothesis adds a modern twist to Descartes' age-old argument, suggesting that we might be living in an artificially created environment that we believe is real, but is actually a carefully constructed illusion. It would make sense if the simulation were designed to respond to our actions, manipulating outcomes to reinforce our sense of continuity. People have described feeling as though their memories are clear and tangible, as if they could reach out and touch them. Now, this may sound odd, but the idea that our memories could be artificially stored and reconstructed by a higher intelligence ties into the theory that we may be living in a simulated world. If we were in a simulation, our consciousness might not even be our own, but a projected experience generated by the system. A lot of people have had bizarre experiences where time seems to stretch or contract unexpectedly. Imagine you're driving and suddenly you find yourself hours ahead of where you thought you were. People have documented this experience, finding themselves in the middle of a conversation, thinking they had only just started it, but realizing it's already over. Could this be the system processing information at different speeds for different people? Or perhaps an error in the way the simulation handles time? Some theorists have referred to these time inconsistencies as glitches, much like when a video game skips or freezes, causing a delay in the narrative of the game. The reality we experience may not be as smooth as we believe. It might just be a series of jumps and glitches. There are also the unexplained synchronicities that people encounter. These are moments when seemingly unrelated events occur in such a way that it feels like the universe is sending a message. The idea of quantum entanglement is another strange phenomenon that plays into the theory of a simulated universe. Now, let's dive into a more philosophical side of the argument, the nature of consciousness. A famous thought experiment that adds weight to this concept is Descartes' evil demon hypothesis, which posits that a powerful, deceptive entity could be controlling our perception of reality. One major question that arises when we think about living in a simulation is, why would an advanced civilization create a simulated world like ours? Let's also think about the advances in virtual reality that we are witnessing today. Then there's the idea that certain patterns in nature may not be random at all. What's even more interesting is how virtual worlds within our current technology are becoming more complex. When we explore the concept of infinity, we begin to realize that a simulated reality could go on forever, endless, looping world, where time is cyclical, events repeat, and our consciousness continues to experience new iterations of reality. Let's not forget the strange phenomenon of quantum superposition. Lastly, some believe that there are hidden messages embedded within the world around us. So what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.